Now I'm going to paint some of the underbelly and gill work of my fish sculpture here. So I'm going to go in with some reds and some pearlescent. I'm using inks here. This is a Bombay Terracotta. This is a bright red Higgins ink I've had for a long time. And then I'm using this pearlized airbrush paint, which I love, and I could spray, but I'm not going to on this little tutorial. I'm going to mix it up with my pinks and reds here and get a pinkish color to get into the crevices here. I'm using a pretty small brush here with my paint. I also have my foam brush ready to wipe off paint as I go in to do this gill work here. Make quick movements here. I just want to get into the bottom crevice there of those gills. You can see I wiped a lot of the white off after I turned the video off from this last session. Didn't need it all yet. I, again, still build up. The white that's in these cracks is now being layered with a pink. Not just a pink, but a pearlescent pink. So this should be pretty intense. That's my goal, to have it really stand out in these little areas here. You can notice I just wiped it off this top area. Not really worried about that. I'm gonna get some water and flush it into these cracks here too. And I'm taking inspiration with these colors from the bass that I referenced, the largemouth bass that I referenced when I made the sculpture. So it appears that I'm taking all of that white that I put on there and kind of just painting over it. In fact, it was intentional to have that white in there first so that the pink will stand out so much more vibrantly. It was a terracotta primer that I used, a red primer, and that was just too dark. So I want to get in here and flush some of this pink and these nice little crevices that I sculpted to give this fish texture. I'm going to apply that on there, and then again, using my sponge, I'm going to kind of wipe off everything that's sitting on the top. I don't want pink to be the bottom color of this. I actually want it to come back to white. So the pink that's on the top, I'm just wiping off so it doesn't get too opaque. When you don't wipe off the colors during a wash, your paint will get real thick, and it'll start to look plastic-like. That's what happens when people typically paint ceramics. It ends up coming out really like a plastic kind of dull finish, and that's because, you know, acrylics are plastic, and the more you put on there, the cakier it kind of gets. It has a real cheesy appearance, at least in my opinion, it does. So I think to avoid that, the best strategy is to build up in layers. And that's why we're doing these tutorials for you, so you can try some different strategies and hopefully have some good results with your ceramic mask, since you spent all that time and putting this texture and cool elements together. All of your masks turned out really good. The pieces turned out good. So that's really all I wanted to do. Here is hit these gills up, maybe a little more intense back there in that corner. They will be white, but I do want to provide a sense of seeing the internal gill work of the fish that you can see sometimes when the mouth is open. So that is my intention with the strategy I picked. It does have a pearlescent finish coming through, and when it dries it will be shiny, it will be kind of metallic, and that's what pearlescent is. So you got to be happy with it if you want to use it. Now you can go back over all of your painting with any type of clear coat and change the finish. So if you wanted it really flat, then you could get a flat finish and spray that on the whole piece once you've painted it up. For this mask, I want to keep it super glossy, so I'm going to put a gloss varnish on, and I have one from Liquitex here. It's very clear and translucent and all, and great and fluid, so I can brush this on or spray that on if I want overall when I'm done. Right now, just putting some nice vibrant colors in the gills. The next stage I'll do with this is dry brush it with a white to start to lift this color and lighten this color up and pull some highlights out of that.